Maritime Made on Eastlink TV is presented in partnership with Nova Scotia Business Inc., Nova Scotia's business development agency.
A smile says so much about a person. At Smile House Dental Lab, located in Truro, Nova Scotia, they take making you smile very seriously. Smile House makes implant-supported bridgework that are permanently attached to implants and replace missing teeth. At Smile House, dentists can have crowns fabricated that are placed on single implants or fixed bridgework that replaces all teeth for denture wearers. The first step requires a dentist to place dental implants where the patient needs them. An impression is then made of the patient's mouth and sent to Smile House. When the lab receives this impression, they disinfect it for the staff's safety. The technician will then place replica implants into the cavities in the impression left by the patient's real implants, taking care that they all fit precisely. A synthetic soft tissue is then added to the impression. This will be used to simulate the gum tissue of the patient. Once the soft tissue is set, the entire impression is placed in a container of alginate. Alginate is a rubbery material that will hold the mold steady. So that a stone casting can be made. Once set, the excess alginate is cut away and the stone mixture is prepared, then poured over the implant impression. Vibration is introduced to ensure there are no air bubbles which would make the impression unusable. This process creates the master cast that will be used to make and fit the final bridges. Once the master cast is complete, a technician makes a base plate from a flexible acrylic material, which is then hardened or cured using infrared light. Next, a wax rim is attached to the base plate. Once complete, it is sent back to the dentist to record the patient's jaw relation. With the jaw relationship confirmed, the master cast is returned to Smile House and the technician attaches the entire cast to an articulator. This will simulate the patient's mouth as the technician builds the bridge. It's now time for a technician to add the teeth to the wax rim, which requires some technical artistry. They'll also carve and mold the wax rim to simulate the patient's gum line, all the while creating a natural smile for the patient. Once the teeth have been set up on the wax rim, they're sent back to the dentist, where the bite is verified. Now that the placement and comfort of the teeth have been verified with the patient, it's time to create a permanent bridge. First, flexible putty is molded around the teeth and left to set. Once set, the putty will provide a rubberized mold of the teeth. The wax rim will now be melted in hot water, releasing the teeth so that they can be set permanently. The teeth are now placed back in the rubber mold, which is also fitted to the master cast. A Smile House technician will build a verification jig that will be the template for a titanium bar used to secure the bridges to the patient's implants. The jig is made from plastic tubes and then built up using a resin material. The final titanium bar will add strength and durability to the implant-supported bridges. Once the jig has been sent to the dentist to verify the master cast, it then goes to the lab technician for scanning. Here, a laser scans both the master cast and the mock-up of the bar. A technician uses special locators placed on the bar and the master cast. After approximately 30 minutes, the complete 3D scan is ready to be sent for processing. After a couple of days, the uniquely milled bar will be sent back to the lab. The teeth are then waxed onto the titanium bar for a final fitting with the patient. Once the fitting is confirmed, the technician installs lab screws. Then a putty index is added and left to set. The screws and putty are removed. Then the wax is removed from the teeth once again in a hot bath. While the master cast is soaked in a pressure pot to drive out air bubbles that could affect the fit of the bar. The titanium bar is sandblasted, which will allow the opaque and the acrylic to adhere strongly. Opaque is done to match the final color of the teeth and acrylic gums, and to ensure there is no titanium visible in the final product. The teeth are roughened on the back side to ensure they adhere to the acrylic. Next, pore holes are made in the putty index, and the teeth are placed back in the index. The titanium bar is then attached to the master cast, as is the putty index with the teeth. Acrylic is then poured into the mold and cured. Once ready, the index and master cast are removed to reveal the finished bridges. The final step requires trimming away excess material, testing for fit in the articulator, more trimming and polishing using a silica sand and water mixture, followed by more polishing. The finished bridges are now ready for the patient and the dentist to install by fixing the bridges permanently to their implants.
Maritime Made is presented by Nova Scotia Business Inc. because great things are happening.